Good morning, everyone. Before I get started this morning, I just want to say happy birthday. It is Brittany's birthday today, and one of the coolest things about her birthday being today is that we get to end every year on a high note. I'm a big fan of celebrating birthdays, so make sure if you haven't done so yet, you wish her a happy birthday. So, here's what we're doing. Today is our last installment of our Behaving Boldly series. If you haven't seen what we're doing, it's a series of videos that Brittany and I have been doing leading up to the start of the new year on kind of roadblocks to our own self-confidence and ways that you can implement new practices into your life to start behaving more boldly, showing more confidence, feeling more confidence, and really taking on the new year, going after the things you want to do, feeling better about yourself, and projecting that outwardly. So the first week, we talked a little bit about body love and body acceptance. Brittany talked to us about behaving boldly within the confines of a family structure and reminded us that we get to pick our family. We also talked a little bit about imposter syndrome and the idea that you can fake it till you make it, and the science is there to back that up. So if you want to see any of those videos, they are available on Facebook. They are also on our YouTube channel. This video today will be up on Facebook. We will add it to our YouTube channel, and then we will also put it on our website for the next week or so. So that's where you can find those. You can tune in, check them out, see what you think. But today, for our last installment, we are going to talk a little bit about minimizing language, qualifying language, sort of shrinking language that truly just sort of undermines our assertive expression. It changes our outward appearance of confidence. It's about shrinking language and what we can do to recognize it and combat it. So the first thing I want to make sure is clear is that this is something that everyone does. It is both affects men and women. However, when you look at the research, it is something that affects women so much more. First of all, we use these words and these phrases far more often. But even when men do use these phrases, it doesn't affect them in the same way. It is not perceived in the same way because it is not reinforcing stereotypes that already exist. So for women, we are already battling this sort of idea that women are not as smart or need to be like more humble and quiet and kind of, so when we use those phrases that reinforce that shrinking mentality, it has a much stronger effect on the way people view us. So the first one I want to talk about is the word just. I just need a few minutes of your time, maybe if you have some in the afternoon. Or I'm just a secretary. I'm just a mom. I'm just an assistant. By using that word, you are undermining yourself before you even get to what it is. And it's expressing to people that you don't even see the value in what you're doing. So this is a tough one, and it has taken me years, really, of working on this. And it still creeps in, you know, it comes in there every once in a while. So the first thing to do is recognize it. This is a word that you can start to delete from your everyday vernacular. This is at work, this is in your personal life. Try to get rid of the just. And the next one is I feel. Now, we love feelings here at Bonded. I do a lot of feeling on a regular basis. But the term I feel, or the phrase I feel, is something that we use incorrectly quite often. I really feel like maybe this is a bad idea or a bad project. Do you feel that, or do you think it is your opinion? We try to take away power from our own opinions by I feel. You know, so instead, I think, I believe, or we should can replace that I feel. And if you do feel something, instead of I feel sad, how about just I am sad? You can own it. I am. And that is going to be far more powerful than I feel. So that's another one that you can pay attention to, recognize it, think about it, and see if it's something that you're doing. And a little tiny shift can really change, one, how you feel about yourself, since we learned that in the Fake It Till You Make It segment, but also how others perceive you. So actually is another one. I actually really like this, or I actually have this great idea. You sound surprised, you have an opinion. So this is one where you can just cut it out. I do like this. Not actually. If you're surprised, why is anyone going to think that they should really listen to you? I'll try. This is one that my husband uses quite often and it drives me insane. I'll try to make it to the party. And it's not saying what you really mean. If what you mean is, I want to come to your party, but I have to work late and I don't know if I'm going to be able to have enough time, then you can say that. But I'll try just seems sort of like non-committal, or you're not sure of your own feelings in it. So say what you really mean. I'm trying to do something. There are instances where that's fine, but I'll try to maybe see if I can get that done for you. What you really mean maybe is, I have so much on my plate right now, it's just not feasible. And it's okay to say that. Or say, yeah, I'll do it if you really want to. Or if you're scared, say, I'm going to do this, but I don't know how to do this one part. Could you maybe show me? So I try is a tricky one, but it's another one that you can look out for and see how you're using that phrase. A little bit. A little bit. I'm a little bit concerned about this. Do you really mean a little bit? Because if it was a little bit, you probably aren't going to be saying it. So if you're actually concerned, say, I'm concerned. Just, the little bit is always that hedge. It's like you don't want to take full ownership of this feeling that you're having. So instead, just own your opinion, own what you're going to say. You don't need to minimize it a little bit. It's just a little kind of, unless you actually mean a little bit. So check yourself, see if this is something that you're using to minimize your language or to not offend someone or to not take on too strong of an opinion. If it's actually a little bit, that's fine. I'm no expert, or phrases just like that. So these qualifying phrases. I'm no expert, but it's okay to own what you want to say. So these are all ways that we're saying, what I have to say isn't as important. I really don't have the authority to speak on this. But if you're willing to put it out there, you might as well just own it. So there are a lot of those kind of couching phrases. Asking questions. And this is the one that I am the most guilty of. Does that make sense? Or you know what I mean, right? Every so often in years, I catch myself doing it all the time. And what you're saying is, I'm not confident that I'm coherent, or you're condescending because you really don't think your audience can understand anything. But for me, it's usually a questioning of my own coherence. Do I make sense? Do you get where I'm coming from? That is one that I have to work on so often. And it's really hard. It takes practice to notice it and then stop yourself and build new, better language habits. And then I think one of the biggest ones, and this is one that I know we've kind of hinted at before, and that's I'm sorry. I'm sorry when you're not actually sorry. When you're not at fault, when there's nothing that you could do, it had nothing to do with you. You're standing in line and someone wants to walk around you. Oh, I'm sorry. You didn't do anything wrong. There's no need to apologize. It is this idea of almost apologizing for existing. And it is a habit that we build because as women especially, we hear it constantly. We hear it from our mothers, our friends, from TV. We're constantly apologizing for things that we have no control over. It's one thing, and it's a very powerful thing to apologize when you've done something to hurt someone or you've done something wrong. But to apologize simply for being is one of those habits that is so important to break. So if that is one of yours, that's a good one to pick. So one of the things to talk about, so this was a lot. Those are not all of them. Don't try and do everything at once. You're going to end up finding yourself overwhelmed and second guessing everything that comes out of your mouth. And that's not what we're trying to encourage. What we want to instead say is pick one. You're like, that's the one. That's the one I do all the time. And just work on that one thing. By doing that, you'll start to change your speech. You're going to start to change the way you're projecting yourself. And you'll make a lot of progress. And after that one feels pretty comfortable and you're okay with that, it does take practice. It doesn't happen overnight. I'm sorry still creep into my vernacular every once in a while. And that is one I've been working on since high school. So this is one of our last tools to hand you as you head into 2017, and that is to take ownership of yourself and your language. Speak with the confidence that you want others to perceive you to have, that you have on the inside. And we are so excited for 2017. We know that all of you ladies have so much to offer. We want you to head out there, behave boldly, go after the things that you really want, and speak confidently about it. Okay, so we will come at you soon. There's going to be a new series coming up. I can't wait to tell you about it. But until then, enjoy and Happy New Year.